And I have to really update that opener one day because it doesn't even say Wrestling Unlimited on it. It says Wrestling. But anyway, I'm Kellen Nitro. Welcome to Nitro Steak Live for WWE Extreme Rules 2021. Coming at you tonight post WWE Extreme Rules from Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio, as the WWE invaded Columbus tonight and put on a pay-per-view show. Joining me as well on the show is the one and only Mr.TL in the house.
Hello.
Coming on the script TGI Fridays somewhere.
Damn right. The background that looks like a green screen.
But it's not. It's actually real.
It's not. It is real.
It is. It's the Rec Room of Awesome. Exactly. So
thank you.
Yeah. We talked in previous streams about what my favorite bit of the Rec Room is and that stuff. So you can go back actually to the AEW stream that we did yesterday and find out more about that if you're actually really curious about it. But we have a reveal here. So here's our first reveal, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Undertaker! Woo!
The Undertaker! Check that out, baby!
We have the Undertaker on screen now. So of course that will pop up from time to time during the contest or during the live stream, I should say, and it will do its thing. But for right now, we just let it roll along. And of course, all of our information is down below. So subscribe today at tinyurl.com/NitroManiacTV if you dig this content tonight that we are doing. But it is now time to get right into it. We are going into, Extreme Rules 2021 from the Nationwide Arena at Columbus, Ohio. So to open things up on the pre-show, we had Liv Morgan versus, and again, no graphic for that one. That's fine, whatever. Liv Morgan versus Carmela. And this was a contest that ran 7 minutes and 52 seconds. Liv Morgan debuting. Well, there's a name now for her finisher, at least tonight, that we found out. And that is, as I look at the notes here, the Oblivion finisher, which basically is a modified mid-rope DDT. So that's all we found out. and the fact that Liv continues to get good in matches and Carmela is still Carmela. So there we go.
Now, funny enough, because you always ask me, have I seen the pre-show thing?
Okay.
My answer is always no.
Mm-hmm.
This time is different.
You did?
I did watch the kickoff show.
Okay.
And I did watch this match.
Mm-hmm.
Liv Morgan doesn't know who she is and what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Her attire is always changing. If you could make an action figure for every different attire you've had, she's had, you'd have at least 53 different action figures. And none of them would be the same character. They would all be named Liv Morgan, though.
Yeah.
Now, also, I don't think that she gets it in terms of in the ring. I know you're saying she's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. Because even her little move where it looks like a backstabber, but it's not because she puts the feet up into the girl and then uses that as a rebounder type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I just threw it out as a mid-rope DDT because that was the closest hold that it's trying to, I guess, imitate. But...
No. The one where she's trying to use her legs to slingshot the opponent forward.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
It's dumb.
Mm.
It's like she doesn't get it. Her impact to the ground making the sound is what makes the crowd think that it hurts. And not using it as a springboard to throw the person forward. That doesn't do anything. It's stupid. And just like her ring psychology and everything else, Carmela looks like a carrot once again. Just browner than
very orange.
Oh my god. Friggin', what's your name? Even though it was supposed to be Extreme Rules, I guess that was her attire, Liv Morgan. Was the extremeness, but she looked like a cosplay version of someone in DX.
Yeah, that's what I think because of the color scheme they were using the neon green in the you look at the title, like let's take the headshot of Becky out of it. The predominant colors of the branding is purple and neon green and that stuff. So maybe she was the pay-per-view. Maybe she was cosplaying as DX. I'm wearing an old school wrestling review shirt tonight, so feel free to comment in the comments wherever. What bar was Liv Morgan? Was she a can of Surge? Was she a bottle of Mountain Dew?
What?
You know nothing of the what bar, do you?
I don't know what in the blue hell you are talking about.
Oh man, I will send you some links. Some links. Yes, absolutely.
Well, before that, can you send me a clue of what the hell you're talking about?
They are in the links.
Hell.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the best I could do. That's the best that I could do. So,
anyways, this actually was an advertised match that they had a sort of build up for, but it meant nothing, and they threw it on the kickoff show, I guess, where it belongs, and meh.
Yeah, it was there. It was on a kickoff show where it belonged, and yeah, you got it exactly. It was a very meh deal, but like I said, we kind of differ a little bit on Liv's in-ring progression a little bit, and that's if I think she's doing good, and that was the only real flashy thing to it, and you're not as big of a fan, so that's fine.
No. Define good.
Define in what way she's doing better?
Yeah, define what she's doing well.
She's quicker. She feels more. Looks and feels like she's more snug in the ring with her moves too. Like it's more crisp, more quick, more crisp when she's giving offense. Her selling's gotten a lot better too. So
selling
now having her in the ring against Carmela is not the best example of such because it's Carmela. But you put her in a ring. I'd like to see her in a ring with like a Shayna Baszler or someone of that ilk. Don't put her in a ring with Nia because Nia just hurts people. But like a Shayna Baszler, an Asuka, something like that.
Okay, but realistically, if you put Becky Lynch against Carmela, you're still going to get a decent performance, aren't you?
Yeah, because Becky is going to carry Carmela for a little bit of a ways.
Exactly. So where does that actually put Liv Morgan?
I think that probably still on par with that, maybe a little bit above. We'd have to wait and see. I'd like to see it. I will give my feedback when that happens.
I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a person who doesn't know who she is, who doesn't really understand the fight aspect of wrestling. She's a good athlete. Probably was a good, I don't know, I'm guessing she was a cheerleader or some kind of gymnast once upon a time.
I think Liv's background is bodybuilding, the IFBB or whatever.
Yeah, okay, so there's a little, I guess, like that CrossFit type of thing put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good in that sense as a base, fine. But wrestling sense, I'm not seeing it. I'm like she would be a perfect mix right now in AEW.
Oh, she'd be towards the top of their cards, yes.
But she would fall right in there with Penelope Ford and
Penelope.
That
sounds like a drink that she'd have at the bar over there.
Yeah, a little cantelope, if you will.
Get on to Penelope Ford. I want to. Next time I see you in person, I want to have a Penelope Ford at the bar.
There you go.
And then I will tell you what bar is the Penelope Ford. So there we go.
Oh God. Anyways,
Moving on. We got the next contest here, which was a add-on due to something that happened in a pre-show where everybody fought backstage. The New Day of Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods taking on Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. And it was a weird one because up until, a couple of weeks ago, this was going to be the match that Lashley had at Extreme Rules. This was going to be Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley. And as we saw tonight, no sign of Orton at all, no sign of Riddle at all. They weren't on the card. And they used Lashley instead to, basically work in a six-man And all the 6-man was hyping what was announced later on in the night as one of the big ratings draws for tomorrow night for Raw, which will be a WWE Championship match between Big E and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, this was a house show match on a pay-per-view with a really big, what the hell is this? And my biggest issue with this match is that it was completely pointless.
It was long.
It was long and pointless.
Yeah, it was long. It was the second longest match on the card at 18 minutes and 45 seconds.
And that's a major problem. That's a huge problem. Now, okay, I guess. Okay, there's no story in this match whatsoever.
No, it's just throw them all together.
The New Day's back together for the first time in I don't know how long, which wasn't really touched upon. Bobby Lashley didn't have MVP anywhere. He's tagging up with Almost and AJ Styles for no reason. There's barely any friction between Almost and Bobby Lashley, who you think would not play friendly because of their size. The New Day, there's no form of dissension between them. There's no sign of Big E's bigger than those guys now. They're just the New Day once again, but also there's no build-up that they're back together for the first time in X amount of days, months, years.
Right.
So wasted opportunity, live event style match, and it was completely pointless. And in the end, what?
Well, New Day won. Yeah. New Day won, so it got the crowd eventually off, I guess, on the right feet. The crowd was popping for New Day, but they popped for New Day anyway, so that there was that.
But they also popped for Bobby Lashley a little bit too.
Yeah, because Lashley, towards the end of his title reign, was being presented as a face more often than a heel. So
yeah, more or less. But,
more or less, yeah.
This match served no purpose, and it was this is one of those matches where you're this is not worth watching. It's just a matter of this is a means to the end. But in the end, nothing happened. Nothing.
Yeah.
This was a useless piece of shit opener.
Exactly. That's it. So I don't have really too much else to add to it other than this was put together last minute, and it felt like it was put together last minute. And it's just something to fill time. I don't know what happened with the lack of involvement with RK Bro. If that they still were teasing, I think even this week, Lashley and Orton as a one-on-one match, even still for this pay-per-view. But it just is. It didn't happen. I don't know why. I'm not sure if it's a COVID related thing. I don't think so. I think it's just lack of booking more than anything else. So
no surprise RKO, no surprise Riddle.
Yeah.
No surprise anything.
Yep. Exactly.
No MVP.
No MVP. Yeah. There's another thing too. Now they were teasing a split between Lashley and MVP, but I wasn't sure. I didn't think that went through yet. I thought they were still a unit. So
no mention. Zero mention.
Exactly, for sure. So, all right, moving on to our first quote unquote advertised match of the pay-per-view. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso, with the SmackDown World Tag Team titles on the line against Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford. They are the Street Profits, and I almost called them the Public Enemy, which shows you where I've been in the past. Look, watching WCW from 25 years ago. So there we go.
I almost call them the Street Private because they're the same tag team.
The Street Party?
Sure, the Street Party.
Private
Street Party.
Private Profits would be a good name for a team too. But it would be like a tax guy and a military dude would be Private Profits.
Or it's just going to be a mix of Private Party and Street Profits.
Exactly.
They're the same tag team.
Yes, indeed. 13:45 to run time for this one. And the Usos retain. Basically, the story of this match was Tez got beat up in the ring on Friday in the main event on SmackDown because he went one-on-one with Roman Reigns. And the story was his ribs were hurting and that stuff. And there were a couple of times where Street Profits look to be the new tag champs, but the Usos eventually, by hook and or crook, eventually grab the pinfall with their patented double Uso splash from the top ropes and get the 1-2 free count.
Yeah, it's a pretty good tag match. It is what it's all, I don't really have any complaints.
Yeah.
Other than I think they got the mentality of this match wrong.
Okay.
Which is, it should just be the Street Profits. We want those belts. We're going to take them from you. Your reign over this show is over.
Yes.
And the bloodline should have been, we're going to keep this on lockdown like we've had it for years now. And you guys, you're no different than you were a year ago or 2 years ago, however long ago it was when we beat you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys aren't on our level. And then that's where you have that kind of conflict of who really is the better tag team.
Yes.
But they didn't really do it like that. It didn't have that urgency. It didn't have that impact, that butting of heads, that who's really the best tag team champion, who's really the best tag team.
Yeah.
It missed all the sizzle on this one.
Well, kind of, I think that the main event match that Tez had on Friday night SmackDown kind of ruined the build a little bit for the match tonight. Like, I mean, it planted the seed that, okay, the face team's going to come in at a disadvantage because one of the members is hurt. So that's, old school psychology there. But
I mean, so that became the story is, can this team win when one of them is injured? But that's nowhere near as interesting a story as the one that we just came up with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a completely missed opportunity for storytelling.
I think so. And it also didn't help, too, that this suffered from, the typical stereotypical WWE build towards things. So it was just really rushed and kind of felt half done, half baked in places and stuff and so on and so forth. But, Street Profits, give them credit. They're still over with the crowd and that stuff. And the Usos are probably now top 5 in heels for what WWE has for heels in that company. So,
but low key, they're underrated still. They're a top 3 tag team in the entire world, but no one gives them that credit.
Yes. I would, at this point in the game, I'd put them even higher than, there was a period where the New Day was the best tag team that WWE has. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think this year in 2021, it's been proven that the Usos are the best tag team that they've got across the board, right?
No. I mean the world.
Oh, you're saying like just, no matter the promotion, they're the best tag team right now.
No matter the promotion, they're a top 3.
High praise.
They actually are, though. I mean, they're cohesive. They're brothers. They do everything right. They make everything look good. Mm-hmm. They have charisma. They're way better as heels as they were the faces. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're very underrated as a straight-up tag team.
Yeah, exactly. No, I you know what? They keep pumping out some matches like they've had on TV here in the past few weeks on SmackDown and that stuff, and they're quickly becoming a believer in my eyes here and that stuff, that they're up there for sure. They're definitely up there. So
I think they beat the Young Bucks. I'm just saying.
We won't get into the Young Bucks after yesterday.
All right.
I was afraid that rant took years off your life. That's how bad, or not bad. But
it probably took more years off my life than having like 2 Costco hot dogs, but still, it happens.
But they're Costco hot dogs, though. You gotta have the hot dogs when you go to Costco.
They're so cheap.
It's part of the experience, no matter where you are. I mean, like,
it's only $1.50.
Yeah.
How do you say? And it comes with a pop. How do you say? Look again. Never mind.
Up here, it's $1.50, and it's to freak you out. In some states south of the border, it's $1. I mean, really, it's cheap lunch. I ain't gonna fold anybody for a cheap lunch. Let me tell you.
We need to steer away from this now.
Shout out to the Cross Point MMA and Pro Wrestling group. By the way, we got this directly streaming to their eyeballs tonight, and we got some people lurking around from that group checking things out tonight. So hello, folks. Hope things are doing well, and a shout out to Gio and J-Mo. How you doing? Got to talk to you guys soon. We got to get something going for sure. and so on and so forth. Moving on to our next contest. It was for the Raw Women's Championship. This was a singles match that ran 11 minutes and 25 seconds. This was, yes, Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. And some very interesting ramifications coming out of this one. Number one, the spooky gimmick that Alexa has really didn't translate into much of a hometown pop for her. They were in her hometown. And it was kind of dull. It was a very dull pop.
Nobody gave a shit.
Now, people hated Charlotte Flair, which is good. That's, she's your heel, so that's what she's supposed to do. So that was good. But I was amazed at the lack of a pop tonight from the Columbus crowd for Alexa Bliss.
You know what I was not surprised of? The lack of bumps that Alexa Bliss takes in a match.
Ah, okay.
She still don't bump. She does a front forward drop kick and lands on her bum.
Yeah.
She has to be placed down for like every move where she ends up looking up at the ceiling for her falls. Like, she's so protected. It's really bizarre. It always has been. I always point it out. And it's literally become a reason why I watch her matches, is to see, has she learned how to bump? And the answer is still no. And I don't know why.
I just thought that it was a weird, it's always a weird pairing between these two, because this harkens back to the first time they met on pay-per-view, which I think was Survivor Series back in either 17 or 18. But they were both champions for their respective brands. Charlotte was the champion on Raw, and Alexa Bliss was champion on SmackDown. So that's why they met on the pay-per-view. And it just felt like, how can I put this delicately? Have you seen that meme that's been going around from, I think it's like from that adult movie with the 6 foot tall redhead and the 4'11" blonde, and she's got the blonde up against the wall like that? Like I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I don't want to go there.
It just kind of gave off those vibes. Like, it just is just kind of like, okay, this is kind of uneasy to watch here. It's, there's this giant out there in Charlotte, and then you got Alexa that's, a smaller statured athlete, but,
Oh, how about this?
Okay.
It's the captain of the cheer team, who's also the girlfriend of the captain of the football team, stomping on the weird gothic girl who's in the 8th grade.
Yeah, but the thing, though, too, is like the Screamo Mall Goth thing that Alexa's got going on doesn't flip any of the switches for me at all or anything. It's just kind of like, this might be something edgy for like 12 to 14-year-old girls who might be watching the product, but for obviously for somebody that's in our age group, it's like, okay, this is happening, but whatever. So
well, it's a dumb match. Alexa Bliss cannot wrestle. Charlotte Flair is going to get booed everywhere because she's the best heel. Yep. She still gets cheered because she's respected as the worker that she is. She's exactly like her father in that sense. And it is kind of amazing when you think about it.
Yes.
But she deserves a better opponent, deserves a better story. And it really pissed me off to no end that they kept referring to the stuffed toy doll as Lily. It's a freaking doll.
Well, Lily got effed up at the end of the match. She gone.
Yes. Charlotte won the match, by the way. Spoiler.
Yes.
And she ripped up the doll into pieces. And then Alexa got her fire by the end of the match and tried to wail on her like this.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte Flair put her back in her place and left Alexa crying hysterically over her ripped up doll. And the crowd started chanting, "Thank you, Lily."
Yeah, thank you, Lily. Exactly.
Which I thought was fucking hilarious. But who is this for?
There was a couple.
Who is this for? Who finds this entertaining?
Yeah, it's. I can tell you, it's not anybody in our age group. That's for sure.
Like, okay, just because R-Truth got Lil Jimmy over doesn't mean that anybody can get anything over, including Alexa with a little messed up, ugly stuffed toy doll.
Well, I had always thought when she rolled that out that was going to be like a voodoo doll of some sort or something like that, and that she was going to go Papa Shango on somebody and stick out some pins in the middle of the match or something like that. And then all of a sudden they have like a back spasm or something.
And you know what? If they did that, I would be very pissed because I'd be like, okay, more cartoony bullshit. But at least that would have been a reason for the doll to exist. However, just holding on to it because it's a stuffed toy is pointless.
Yeah.
It's literally as pointless as, this is going back, but Chavo having Pepe, the horse on a stick.
That's going way back. That's a deep cut.
That's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut.
But you know what? It was a comedy act for a comedy purpose of having Chavo and Pepe. And this literally ended up being the same thing with Bliss and Lily.
Is it
trying to put it in a serious storyline, and it had the same Chavo and Pepe effect.
It's like Perry Saturn with Moppy.
Exactly, same thing. Those are comedy bits.
Yeah,
they're not serious. They tried to put a comedy into serious, and it didn't work. Thumbs down to this bullshit.
Yeah, they're like, I get a weird vibe whenever like Charlotte and Alexa in the ring don't mesh for me at all.
Oh my God! Speaking of deep cuts, did you see the little reference that Alexa put into this match? She
prompt me. I probably did, but prompt me.
She tried to clutch into the ropes like Andrade. And she didn't do it right. So no one got the reference and no one popped for it at all. Like, where Andrade goes sideways into the second and top rope and he just sits in there and lays in there?
Yeah, and that's the Tranquillo kind of deal. Yeah.
So Alexa tried that tonight and it didn't look like anything. It looked like she just stuck in the rope. It happened early in the match and I caught that and I'm like, did anyone get that? Andrade, Idolo, nothing?
I will check that. Yeah, I'll have to check that out a little bit later on. And
I can watch it as soon as you see
it. I'm sure. Yeah. Now that you mentioned, I'm sure it happened. So I can't. Wow, my mind just like right there. So
I know you can't wait to go back and see it. But when you do, you're gonna be like, oh my God, she really did try it, and it doesn't look anything like it. But she really tried to do an Andrade reference.
Yeah.
Fail.
Feel free, folks, to throw some comments into the comment board as well. They'll pop up on the live stream. And yes, we have the debut below of the Undertaker, kind of just giving off some information to you guys to follow during the thing, because that's what tickers do. I almost feel like throwing sports scores in there or something, but this is a wrestling stream, so I don't know what we would put. Like results from dark or something, or
you know what? I just thought of it. Maybe the bottom ticker should be the match results.
Oh, okay.
Like a sports sticker.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. We'll have to get that streamlined for the next Nitro Steak Live, for sure.
Low key, the progression that we've had together, like on this show, from the background to the setup. To the sound.
We're building it brick by brick as we go.
We are. And it has come a long way from the first time we tried to do this.
It's neat. Yeah. It's also come a long way because I don't have to sit here for 90 minutes afterwards or 2 hours to try to edit everything back together and then upload it, which is awesome.
That was like the biggest thing, but we've added so much like every single time. This has been awesome. Yeah,
exactly. Love it so far. All right. Enough self-gratification. We got to get going with the card here again.
Yeah.
Up next was the U.S. Championship. This match was a triple threat match. It ran 13 minutes and 25 seconds. And it was, initially it was going to be Damian Priest and Sheamus. But then Jeff Hardy got added in because he won on Friday. So this was not really a last-minute add, because I think they were kind of arcing the storyline towards that. But Jeff Hardy's in this thing. 13 minutes, 25 seconds. Enjoyable. It didn't seem much different than what you would watch on Friday night, but I thought that it was really enjoyable between the three, of them in the ring. I thought all three of them had great chemistry together. So, and, anytime at this point in time to watch a Jeff Hardy match and Jeff is, moving fairly decent to, if not very well in the ring, is a bonus. So, kudos to him.
Yeah. This triple threat match was interesting.
Mm.
When you break down the three opponents, though, they didn't get across what I think they're hoping for. They're hoping that Jeff Hardy is a serviceable veteran. They're hoping that Damian Priest is the next big up-and-comer. And they're hoping that Sheamus is a big heel badass.
Yes.
However, in reality and the way that it played out on screen, Sheamus looks like he's got X-Pac heat.
Yeah. At times he did. Exactly.
Damian Priest doesn't get the pop that they want him to get. He hasn't seemed to earn it with the crowd yet, and I don't really know where the disconnect is, but the connection just isn't there between them and the crowd. Mm-hmm. The crowd was pulling for Jeff Hardy. They want the old guy that they remember to get it done, although it kind of seems like the crowd kind of picked up on the fact that he's only there for the name. He's never going to win, and he'll always be a screw-up. So It was just really, really strange elements and wrong expectations into this match. You're right. The match itself was enjoyable. Yeah. Just the elements that they put into it was very bizarre to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. Oh, what was the card from earlier in the year where all of a sudden there were zombies flying out of nowhere and it was Backlash? That was Backlash, right? So.
Died to me.
that was Backlash, but this by far and away was. I didn't end up doing the poll tonight for match of the night or anything like that, but I'm sure that if I did, that this match would probably get a few votes in that stuff because it was fairly tight, fairly competent, not a lot of dead spots in it. And there was a tangible, you could tell that there was tangible conflict and tangible heat between all three competitors in it and that stuff. And the finish was tight. I liked how the finish rolled out and everything. And just, hey, that it was what it was. It's the United States Championship is SmackDown's worker belt, the mid-card belt, and these are the three best guy. Well, no, this is Monday Night Raw. Sorry, my bad. I'm getting. Well, it could be SmackDown because we got the draft coming up, I guess. But Monday Night Raw's version of the worker belt. So, roll forth with it. These are your three best workers you got right now for that belt. They work for this pay-per-view. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The match itself wasn't too bad. The character building is really messed up. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're building Damian Priest correctly, that the crowd isn't really picking up on it.
Right, exactly. For sure. All right. Are you ready for our semi-main?
Sure.
Semi-main event. Becky Lynch, the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, putting her belt on the line against Bianca Belair. And Mr.TL, it was the match that we had expected to see at SummerSlam because this thing went 16 minutes and 30 seconds with Bianca winning by DQ because your wifey's back.
Wait. Okay. The match we were expecting to see at SummerSlam was wifey against Belair.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with Becky Lynch. She came in there and stole that spot from wifey. And you know what? Wifey looked beautiful tonight. Wifey looked good tonight.
Wifey looked hot.
Wifey looked fine tonight. Woo! Did you hear that crowd pop when she came in the ring?
Yes.
Now, okay. All that aside, the match itself. This is technically, to me, Becky Lynch's first match back since coming back.
Yes.
Because her first match against Bianca wasn't really a match. It was a 5-second spot.
Yeah.
So this is her first match back. They had a good match. Bianca and Becky Lynch had a pretty good match. Mm-hmm. You can tell there's a slight bit of rust on Becky Lynch, but if this is her starting point from coming back after having a baby and almost a year off, she's gonna be all right. In no time at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I didn't think she was missing a step at all. I thought that she was. If there was maybe one thing with her, it would be maybe just a little bit of hesitancy still with the heel role. I think she's still got to try and kind of immerse herself in that heel mindset a little bit, because she was so used to being a face, you know. It seemed like at times, and that's a couple times there, she kind of was maybe for a half second or two kind of lost in what the psychology would be. But that's, you know, that pro athletes practice all the time. That's why there's practice for pro athletes. So those are very minor critiques.
We talking about practice?
Talking practice. But we're talking about the game here.
We're not talking about practice, not practice. Anyways, listen. Now, before I almost lost my train of thought doing that stupid practice mix.
You got Iverson, that's why.
Yeah, got Iverson on the brain. No, I really did lose my train of thought. Thank you for the practice. Shit. I don't know if I'm going to get it back. I did. Yes, here we go.
Okay, go.
I don't blame Becky Lynch for losing her sight on being the heel or not, because the crowd really is split 50-50.
They still are, yeah. That's a confusing bit about it.
Exactly. The crowd is chanting EST followed by Let's Go Becky.
Let's go Becky, EST.
And it's the same people. It's literally they're doing consecutive chants. They're not doing chants.
Could you imagine if this was post WrestleMania? If this was like the Raw after WrestleMania or something? It would be worse.
This would have been crazy.
Because people just chant whatever on the Raw after WrestleMania. I've been there a few times. I know. People just chant whatever because we're all loaded. That's why.
And it's a fun show to be at.
It's a fun show to be at, yeah.
So yeah, they have a pretty good match. It looks like Bianca's going to pull off the win out of nowhere. And then at the very end, before the 3 count, it gets broken up by the returning Sasha Banks, who beats on Belair.
Yes.
It looks like she's going to turn attention to another member of the 4 Horsewomen, and then beats her up too.
Yep.
And then she peels out of the ring. Her music plays, looking fine as hell.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that segment. And it made me think, are they just doing the whole Ronda Rousey storyline all over again, except with different characters?
We might be going down that road, because obviously it's going to be a triple threat now with Becky as the champion coming in. You got Bianca as the as a babyface challenger, and then we got Sasha coming in as maybe the scorned heel, or maybe the scorned tweener that lost her belt, or you know, lost a chance at the belt. Well, lost her belt initially and then lost her chance at the belt, you know, at 2 of the biggest shows of the year. She has an L and a DNF, if you want to steal a racing terminology. Did not finish at WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
Nope.
All right.
He has a loss and a rematch that hasn't happened ever.
There we go. Okay.
A rematch that was interrupted, that she technically won by disqualification.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Becky, who's a tweener because the fans don't want to give up on her, but the character wants to.
Right.
So you're basically having 2 heel tweeners in this match against a face that hasn't fully gotten over, because the other 2 still have a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually, to me, is interesting. And I'm not exactly pissed that it ended the way it did, because we still get a good match out of it, and it extends this to another chapter with another character who's very important to women's wrestling.
Phenomenal, you know, it was a good to phenomenal match, and it was a good to phenomenal ending with bringing Sasha Banks back. And Sasha Banks.
This was clearly match of the night, not the other one. This was clearly match of the night.
Yeah. So I would agree with you. This would have been my choice if we did the poll, obviously, for match of the night, but we're, you know, just not doing that one for this one, so don't worry about it. But that's our choice. So
now, before we jump to the main event now,
yes,
a couple of things that I always like to do. One is the little segments in between. Bobby Lashley put a kind of a piss poor reading off of a paper promo that he wants his belt back.
He's angry.
Yeah, but he's scripted. He don't read well. He's very.
And you know, that was always the knock about him back, remember, in the mid-2000s when he first debuted in ECW and that stuff and everything, is that, man, if this guy could ever nail a promo, he'd be money, but it's just...
He can't.
He can't nail a promo.
It has to come from in here.
Yeah.
He's getting it from here.
Well, the thing is that they had a guy that could nail promos for him in MVP, and he wasn't there tonight. What was going on?
Exactly. The guy that they hired to be his promo guy wasn't there. And Bobby Lashley can't emote. All he needed to do was just simply, the very last thing he said was all he needed to say, which was, I want my belt back.
Yeah. But
he went into this little rant that was so written and came off so phony. You just kind of like, you question, it's like, how does a man that big come across so whiny and so unconvincing? I don't know what it is. He either trusts the writers too much or he don't know how to emote by himself.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side of that, later on in the show, it might even be this part of the show, Big E has a response that says, oh, you want to challenge me for the belt? You think I'm hiding behind the New Day? Come and get some. I'm going to see you Monday.
That's right. Opening segment Monday night, so don't miss it. Tomorrow night, folks, right off of, well, we're Mountain, so it'd be the 6 o'clock start. It will be Bobby Lashley challenging for the WWE Championship against Big E right off the top of the show on Monday Night Raw. And with the booking currently at WWE and that stuff, you could probably watch that and then, maybe tune out till the third hour and then come back if you want, or whatever. It's all good.
You just see what happens, and that's the end of that.
That's exactly right.
I wanted to point out.
Should be good. It'll be all right. I'm looking forward to seeing it. That's going to be all right.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention was the usual suspects.
Yes.
Of MIA, missing in action. They're in Ohio. No Miz. No Morrison. No Cross. No Drew McIntyre.
Yes. That's a big one.
No Shinsuke, who's their IC title holder, and he's got a kind of a hot heater guy with boogs with him. No appearance.
Yeah, no boogs either.
No boogs. No Apollo Crews, no Kevin Owens, no Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And it's your usual suspects of missing people who go MIA in the pay-per-view that are always missing.
And they did a kind of almost like a pay-per-view build angle on SmackDown with Owens and Corbin, where Corbin has Riddick Moss now in his corner as kind of a heel, just like heel muscle, I guess. And they both assaulted Kevin Owens. And so you thought that this was going to be like something that was going to be late added to the card or something like that, where we would get Corbin versus Owens or something like that. And, see what happens off of that. But yeah, nothing happened off of that. Shocking to see no Drew after the spring that he had for sure.
No Drew. Also, no Rhea Ripley, no Nikki
ASH, yeah.
Also missing. By the way, I didn't think of this till right now. Where has Asuka and Bayley been?
Well, Bayley's hurt.
Oh.
Yeah. So Bayley's hurt. They don't expect her back this year. Probably she might be a surprise Rumble return in 2021 or 2022 at this point.
What about Asuka?
Not sure. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about Asuka. That's the thing. So.
And you know who else is missing that I just remembered? Maybe she got released. I don't know. Who's that Southern Belle girl?
Lacey Evans?
Yeah, because she left TV
yeah.
for Becky Lynch to have a baby, and is still not back after having a baby. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's the last I heard is that she was having a baby. So.
But that happened even before Becky Lynch left. In the first place.
I think so. Sure. Yeah, I haven't seen her though. Like they haven't brought her back or anything like that. But you look at it now and that stuff is why would you bring somebody back for quote unquote Survivor Series? Like you got the Rumble in 3 months.
Well, I guess they got two events that they got to deal with, which is Crown Jewel, then Survivor Series, and something else before Rumble.
Yeah, well, with the women's division in WWE, there's never really a huge presence at Crown Jewel because of the way the Saudis run the country. So forget that. And then you got beyond that Survivor Series, and then I think TLC is the last pay-per-view of the year if it's still in December, if that's what they still have planned.
I guess.
And then you might have a big SmackDown main event somewhere. You might have a big Raw main event somewhere. Maybe a couple of those to get ratings grabs. You might do tribute to the troops, but I don't think they did one last year.
You couldn't
due to COVID. Yeah. So that's about it. We're getting down to the real end of the schedule here for WWE. There might be a secondary October pay-per-view beyond Crown Jewel, but I really don't think that would be, smart. You'd want to go head to head with AEW in November anyway. So, and you have a big 4 pay-per-view always scheduled in November for Survivor Series. So why don't you just jump right from Crown Jewel to build to Survivor Series?
Look, whatever they're doing, they're going to get a big push from AEW coming up, so they better get their shit together.
Yeah. As we've seen, and as we talked about on the stream yesterday. Yeah, exactly. So
now, getting their shit together, this is not an example of it, of what happens in the main event, which, by the way, is the only match that goes extreme on a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules.
Yeah, it was the only match that had a actively advertised no disqualification stipulation. And don't forget, this card used to be the one that was right after WrestleMania in April all the time. So,
well, this used to be One Night Stand.
Yeah. Oh, way back in the day, this used to be ECW One Night Stand. Yes.
And then they changed it to Extreme Rules so they could not have ECW on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Universal title on the line. They had Roman Reigns versus the Demon Finn Balor.
No.
Universal Championship. Oh,
no.
Okay.
At no point tonight did they refer to him as Finn Balor. It
was just the Demon.
Called him the Demon.
The Demon.
I'm like, the fuck are they doing?
I guess that's like
the Demon. I'm like, he's Finn Balor. It says Balor right on his back in paint. Call him Balor.
Yeah, I guess that would be like going to a Kiss concert and referring to Gene Simmons as, it's the Demon, Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
Runtime for that one was, it was the longest match on the show, by the way, folks, 19 minutes and 45 seconds. And some real weird chicanery happening towards the end of this thing. I guess I got kind of a blow-by-blow written down, so I'll work through it. Just holler at me as, if you want to jump in here. So, I'll start with, this is just a funny moment because this was almost a botch, but the Demon almost lost his shorts and went through a table off of a chokeslam by Reigns. That was pretty funny.
I love that. I saw that and I thought to myself, did he show a cheek? And then McAfee says, showing one cheek as he goes through the table. I'm like,
McAfee has no chill. There was an issue earlier on in the pay-per-view where I guess people who were streaming on Peacock had multiple languages being thrown at them for commentary for audio feed. And so McAfee, being well aware of this and being told this on Twitter and that stuff, came out later in the show and introduced his name in English, Spanish, and French all in the same sentence.
Nice.
Yeah, because McAfee's a dick. What could I say? That's what he does.
He had to point out the butt cheek of the Demon as he goes through a table.
Because that's his deal. That's his deal. It's totally his deal. That's what he does.
Go ahead, do your rundown.
Yeah, all right. Sling blade by the Demon. Roman counters back with a spear. Only nets 2, but then there's a low blow by the Demon as he kicks out. Why don't more wrestlers do that? I have written down.
Because that would totally be a heel move. That if it was 1, 2, and you put the shoulder up, but you accidentally can the guy, that's a pretty cool heel move. Not so much for a face, let alone a Demon. But yeah, it worked.
It was very outside the box. Yeah, I liked it in this match. I thought it was very outside the box when I seen it. So,
also Roman, the facials was both hilarious but also perfect. He's a good sell. That was a good.
He's a good emoter. He's a very good emoter.
Yeah,
he's in the right business.
Definitely.
Also, hey, this was before all this, but did you like Paul Heyman handing Roman the face mask so Roman could go into the crowd and fight the Demon?
That was pretty good.
That was funny. Yes.
And McAfee saying, not wanting to breathe the air of these lowlives in Ohio, he gets the mask from Paul Heyman. I'm like, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that was great. I enjoyed it.
Great line, great cover up. That's just some good little stuff. I like that.
It was insane. I enjoyed that. That was great. Okay, so fast forwarding out, coup de grace attempt by Balor, but only a 2 count as the Usos run out and interfere. The Demon lays out the Usos, but Roman spears the Demon through the barricade in an oh my god type moment. And then all of a sudden, as they're all laid out on the ground and everybody's dead, the Demon hulks up in red light like Bray Wyatt.
No. He starts flopping on the ground like a dead fish. And every time he humps the ground, his little theme music goes off of and he stands up like Jim Carrey getting off the ground like the cable guy.
Yeah.
And the lights go red as if it was friggin' Bray Wyatt.
Yes. Starts laying out the Usos. One Uso goes through a table, and then he gets up onto the top rope. Looks like he's going to lay Roman out with the coup de grace because he's dragged Roman back into the ring for the kill. He's going for the finisher. So he's up there, and he's doing a whole hand raise to the heavens thing. And then all of a sudden, the top rope says, "See ya," and goes gimmick and flops, and he cans himself on the top and flops on over and starts selling his knee, and that's enough for Roman to hit the spear and get the 1-2-3.
Not only did he go to the top rope and hit his pose and everything with the red lights on and the fog reappearing.
Yes.
His theme music is playing the whole time. So, like, I was wondering if they were trying to do it like a horror movie where the demon starts, doing his business while music is going off.
Maybe like a B-grade horror or something like that, but that's just...
Yeah. So, like, even if that was the case, and I think that's what they were trying to do, maybe, I'm like, this is so cheesy. This is so hokey. This is corny. This is garbage.
That stuff would be better suited for a like a cinematic match from like last year or something,
That's some cinematic match bullshit that they put into a live event this time with the red lights, the theme music playing, the Finn Balor demon nonsense garbage of him coming back to life after being speared through the what do you call it? The barricade.
Yep.
My mind is still like, what the hell did we just watch?
I think the text that I sent you said it best, is that one show has for one of its main events a 5-star 30-minute time limit draw for people who actually want to sit down and watch wrestling for 30 minutes. They could watch that. That's fine. Not for a title or anything either. It was just 2 wrestlers wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And the other show has what we saw.
Yeah, the other show has theatrics and horror movie B-grade effects and bullshit. And what the hell? This top rope just breaks under the 160 pounds that is Finn Balor? Why? Yeah. Did he get too powerful up there that it went off? The top rope breaking and snapping, causing him to fall face first to the ground?
It will probably be revealed that somebody tampered with the rope, and that will be either the catalyst for Finn's next feud with somebody, or it will be, revealed that maybe Heyman tampered with the rope or something. And, that's how they've I'm just giving you a list of the corny BS ways that they'll write out of it.
It's stupid. It's bullshit, and no matter what they come up with, it's not going to be satisfactory.
Mm-hmm.
It was a ridiculous ending to that match.
Oh, it's bad. Of course it was bad.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
This was not up there, but this is reminiscent of the moment that killed wrestling when Damian Priest and Miz had to fight off zombies. It reminded me of why I hate the WWE and why I have so much animosity every time that you ask me to watch these fucking pay-per-views.
Do you have the same animosity, at least for the AEW pay-per-view? But
this literally kills me just as much as a Costco hot dog deep inside. Also, nothing cool happens after. There's no appearance by Brock Lesnar. There's no surprise. No one comes out to help Finn Balor when the Usos came down to put him through a table but didn't.
He fired an on-camera shot as he's walking back using, said a couple of things like, this is Romans basically talking to the camera saying, you want the best in the world, you got it. You want to see the greatest wrestler alive, you've got it. So he's firing shots at like Danielson and Punk, basically walking back saying, our product's better, ha ha ha.
Meanwhile, all we're looking for is Brock Lesnar going to come out and hit him out of nowhere and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, remember how we were talking about smoke inside of the building?
Yeah, it lingered. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. It was lingering for the longest time in this thing. They actually had like a smoke machine that was going off in the corner during the match.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it had malfunctioned or what, but it was still kind of going off at certain times during this match. And it was I
was laughing so hard because the smoke and the fog machine had clouded the front rows for the
they couldn't see anything.
They couldn't see the match for the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it did clear, but when they started pulling out weapons from underneath the ring where they didn't put up an LCD board, they just put up the skirt on two sides of the ring.
Yeah.
Every time they pull out weapons, in the corner, the smog machine would go off. Because that's supposed to go off when Finn Balor does his little theatric red light thing at the end of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And it did, and that with the red lights combined, people didn't see what happened as he randomly fell to the ring. And then the lights turn back on normal, and they see, the top rope is somehow loosened itself. And here's the spear, and that's the end. Oh, the smoke finally cleared.
I just can't wait to see how Matthew and the guys over at Botchamania will twist this around for their endings and stuff like that. You know that's a Simpsons reference from somewhere, and it's just...
Whatever it is, it was hot garbage.
So, yeah, and that wraps up the pay-per-view. I think the runtime for it was 2 minutes I wish it was 2 minutes. 2 hours and 51 minutes and 37 seconds, I think, something along those lines, and went to dark. And the next fig that was on the WWE Network, at least, was the premiere of the Broken Skull Sessions episode with Seth Rollins, I think. So, there we go. It is time to give the Undertaker the burial for the show. It's gone. And it is time to bring forth the scores for this show. So I'll go first. I'll give the pay-per-view out of 10 a 4.75 out of 10. Again, a very serviceable, very decent US title match. Becky and Bianca was really, it was an interesting, watch because, like you said, it was Becky's first match back and that stuff and everything. And everything else just kind of felt like, the usual fare from Monday or Friday night with a little bit of weirdness thrown into it, especially at the end of that main event. So that's all I got.
Whoa. Where's all this 7.75 stuff coming from? What is this?
4.75. I didn't want to give it a 5.
What is this? Come on, man. At least whole numbers are 0.5. What is this now?
I didn't want to decide to give it a 4.5. I didn't want to give it a 5, so I gave it a 4.75.
Oh, come on, man. You got to be a little bit more decisive than that. That's ridiculous. We're going to the hundredths on the decimal point now? Can I give something a 0.37? Which is ridiculous.
You could in the future if you want.
Oh, God. No, in the future, can we use holes and whole numbers and maybe 0.5s?
Okay, fine. But you got to hold it to your scores, too, is that you're going to be using holes and 0.5s.
Holes and 0.5s. None of this quarters and fractions, just like Pat McAfee. I don't like fractions. Now.
All right, fine. No. Let me address this now because people are so. I'll round. I'm Canadian, so I'll round it up. This is like going to Tim's. I give it a 5. There.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's a 5.
You took a decisive 5. All right.
It's a 5. It's neither great nor terrible.
Okay.
Your turn.
I respect that. Very good. I give it a 4.5 out of 10. Reason being, it's not passable to me because anything that was good on this pay-per-view would have been seen on a regular show of a SmackDown or a Raw.
Yep.
Nothing outstanding happened. Whatever was there was serviceable, but not to the point of a pass. So 4.5. This was junk compared to what's happening on the other channel.
And again, you labeled the match of the night. What did we pick again? It was the women's.
I picked the women's match.
Yeah, that's it. That's the match for match of the night. Yeah, is Bianca and Becky. So there we go. That's it. Woo, Undertaker. Woo. There we go. Let's back up. I'm just gonna have to do that each and every time to bring it back up here. So the awesome.
I don't know why. I thought you would do a much better Paul Bear.
Yes. I gotta work on it. That's why.
Yeah, you do.
Woo.
That's do that again.
Woo.
You sound like the Pillsbury Doughboy at Halloween. Oh man.
The stream is peaked right now, so that's great. Yeah. There we go. So there it is, the Nitromaniac TV Undertaker. As we've decided during the stream, we're gonna end up for like a little few extra figs during this ticker life's existence and so on and so forth as this goes. So.
I'm sorry, I got the giggles.
Yeah, there we go. It's all good. Well, I'll tell you what, we got a few extra minutes here and that stuff. We kind of wrapped the review of the pay-per-view early and that stuff. I want to hit up you with something that's here we go. It's a great question. From that house in Canada, just popping it up. It says the Pillsbury Boy or Toad from Mario. Woo, yeah.
Whoa. Okay,
Woo-hoo!
Shout out to that. Shout out to the house.
Let's go.
Oh god. Oh, I'm gonna throw a banana or a turtle shell at you next time I see you.
I gotta remember what Toad's thing was from Mario Kart 64 when he spun out. Because I got Luigi's stuck in my head now. I was like, wow, 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 wow.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Mario.
So.
Mario.
But anyways, yeah, there we go. Well, we got a few extra minutes here before we wrap up the stream. I'm going to just hit you here because we've been both checking out the series Heels on Stars over the past few weeks. And we both got some thoughts about the series so far and that stuff. So I'll let you take it first. What do you think of the series so far and how it's shaping up?
I'm actually pleasantly surprised. When I heard it was going to be a drama type TV show about wrestling, I was very on the fence about it, and especially it coming on the Stars Network, I was extra skeptical. But you start in from episode 1 and it hooks you. It really does. It's done very well. It is written very well. You get very invested into the characters to the point that there can be an episode where there is only an ounce of wrestling in it, and you're still hooked and you still want to see more and move into the next episode. There's times where I care more about this fictional wrestling league that they're putting together than I do real wrestling. It is done so very well. The interaction that they do is Did you ever watch Harvey Birdman?
Yes. I grew up on Adult Swim too, so
Mr. X, that evil do that I do. X the Exterminator.
Hell, I got the PS2 game. That's a fun playthrough. If you've never played the Harvey Birdman PS2 game, it's a blast.
Wow, I might have missed that. I might have to go back and get that again. But
I'll loan you my copy. Let me know. So
okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
As for the show, it does have random sex scenes that don't need to be in there.
But that's a trope of any Stars program, like basically. gratuitous sex. Let's throw it out there.
Yeah, just because we can show some titties, show some tiggle bitties out there.
Yeah, basically.
Show it, and it's like, yeah, I don't need that. And maybe they might figure it out for season 2 that they just don't need it. But besides that, good stuff all around. Good actors, good characters, well written. They give you the lingo of the wrestling knowledge so that people who are coming into this world for the first time are caught up to speed about the lingo, about the behind the scenes, about phrases and stuff that they use and the way things are done in wrestling. It honestly is informative in that sense, but you're never lost in the show and you never feel like you need to know things about wrestling in order to enjoy the show or watch the show. I was pleasantly surprised by Heels thus far.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I've watched the first few episodes of few, and then ended up watching one of the episodes, the one that followed it right after. And I'm a couple episodes behind, so I still have to watch last week's and this week's and get up there. But I'm hooked on the series to see how it is. A lot of non-wrestling friends of mine and coworkers and so on have asked me, is this really what it's like? Because I guess they're watching it and they're checking it out as well and that stuff. I say, it's probably about maybe 60-40 to 70-30% accurate, because a lot of the politics and stuff like that they've discussed with the main characters on this show do happen in different independent organizations that, you know, I've had the pleasure of working with in the past and so on and so forth. And in you know, either capacities of, you know, working camera for them or whatever, right? So it's like the case in point, I don't think somebody in this neck of the world has a barn kicking around that could seat easily 5,000 people. That's kind of a a Hollywoody type thing. But
Absolutely.
you know, there are television studios though that host independent wrestling still to this day. So
yeah, that was the thing. I think you're 100% right about that. In this show, it's an independent promotion that runs out of an old rundown barn. More so something that you would have seen in the 70s or 80s in independent wrestling or the territory days. I'd say for us up here, very Stampede Wrestling-esque. But
that's a good comparable.
In the year 2021, which is I think where the show is coming from.
Yeah, it's current day. Yeah,
it's not. It doesn't seem applicable or relative in that sense that those don't exist anymore. You wouldn't see that very much. If you went to an independent show, you're probably ending up at a community hall, a gymnasium, a casino, or rec center, something like that.
Yeah.
And you'd have to see those guys setting up the ring, setting up the equipment, making sure the audio works, making sure the microphones work, all that kind of stuff, and background checks and sound checks and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But in this, it's all kind of built into one staged area, into a location that you don't think would exist anymore in 2021.
Yeah.
But
that house in Canada, again, that's like saying Grey's Anatomy is 100% true to life. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're going to get some element of Hollywood in any fictional portrayal of, you know, anything. Nowadays. I mean, you know, Ford versus Ferrari is a great movie. Does it 100% depict what road racing or the racing scene was like in the 1950s or 60s? Probably not. But did it win a bunch of awards? Yes, because it was damn good. So,
and I kind of expect this show may win some awards down the road if it keeps going the way that it is, because I love it.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, I'm hooked on it too, for sure. So if anybody hasn't had a chance to check it out, it's on up here in Canada. We get it through Shaw On Demand, and just basically look at whoever your cable provider is, if they got Stars, and if they got Stars, then you get the show. And you can stream, actually, if you're in the United States watching this, the first 3 episodes of Stars, or of Heels on Stars, I should say, for free right now. It's part of their whole thing in September that they're doing. So it's for the rest of the week, at least you can do it.
Nice.
Don't try it if you're watching this in October though, because that promotion is done. It's That's right. Exactly. So, all right. I think that's it. that's all I wanted to hit on, and that's basically all we know at this point across the board for both stars. And it's like the most spoiler-free review of stars that or of heels. I should say. Again, yes, watch stars on heels or heels on stars.
That's a whole different show that I don't think I want to be a part of.
Yeah, but exactly. My dyslexia is coming through. Anyway, so that's we wanted to basically just throw that out there. So if anybody hasn't seen it, go check it out. And with Extreme Rules, that's our full look at it and that stuff. Again, as we hide that, my score 5 out of 10. Mr. TL went 4.5 out of 10. We've made some new rules tonight as the Undertaker goes for its last ride for the night. I can run with puns with this thing for all.
Burying the Undertaker, the last ride. Good stuff, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, so that's that. But we'll have to he'll have to walk to the back. He's meandering to the back. The match is over. There's the thunder.
Actually, that looks a little bit more like the Rock on the top rope. It's more straight up, isn't it? Anyway, whatever.
You done it now.
Oh God!
You gonna made a big mistake. Okay, so it's dong.
All right,
there we go. It's gone.
Theme song karaoke has started, so this show is done.
tinyurl.com/Nitromaniac TV. Float a subscription and share the video around to anybody and everybody. Let's get this up and above 200 people, 200 subscribers, and so on and so forth. It takes 1,000 to get this channel monetized, so we're still on a long way from there. But with every 100, more and more eyeballs get recommended by the big YouTubes to say, hey, come over here, see what these guys are doing. And that's how it works. And that's it. So this is my winter project here, is to make this channel big and bad, to match with my other channel, which is my racing channel, Drag Files, which also I have to give a quick shout out to, because tonight it passed 3K on the subscriber count. It is 3,000 subscribers strong. And if anybody's over there from here, or over here from there, I should say, again, dyslexia, whoops, watching this, thank you very much again. This is great. I've never even fathomed that it would get above 1,000 subscribers, and we're at 3K right now and still growing over there. So that's over at tinyurl.com/drag files. If you want to check out some high performance cars doing high performance things, that's what they do over there. But if you want to come and talk wrestling, tinyurl.com/Nitromaniac TV. There's links to both on either page, so flip flop as you will. So follow you on Twitter where?
Me?
Yes, you.
PMLOUTAN. I want to smoke. I'm ready for it. Bring it.
Bring it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter at Kellen Nitro. And on Instagram at Kellen Nitro as well, too. And we'll talk. We'll hang out. That's it. So, got anything else? No, we're doing a Too Sweet to sign off to Too Sweet.
Sign off.
Too Sweet.
Woo!
Too Sweet. Okay. And there'll be the ad with all the information coming up here. So we'll see you next time here on Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. Happy wrestling watching, everybody. And stay tuned. More great stuff coming as we get into the spooky season of October. Woo! Spooky. All right.